request your free consultation or to talk with a member of the GQ team. That's gqlaw.com. 855-500-TRUST.
You're live. Right. Happy Friday. Welcome to Word on Well. Today we are talking about how you find joy on Finding Joy Friday. I would love a call from you. Just call up and just give me a brief thing. Like, what do you do, in your life, in your world? What do you do to find joy?
It literally just hit my brain right now. A guest we've had on in the past, and we'll probably try and get him back on. I'm guilty of not texting him actually because we're dear friends. But Kip Harris, who has written a book, and the book of the name of the book changed, but he really talks about finding joy in unexpected places. And sometimes you don't. His MO is you don't have to look too hard for it. If you just really look at what's in front of you, the simple things. Joy and happiness are two completely different things, but you can find joy in the simplest and smallest of ways.
Yes. And I remember, because Kip's story is quite heartrending. I mean, cancer 3 times. The first time through, he was all mad and you tried to have a good attitude. Just, I'm going to get through this. I'm going to fight it. I'm going to fight cancer. And when I get through, then I'm going to have a happy life. I'm going to be good. And so he managed. And then the second time it was like, okay, I'm going to fight through. And he realized, I think it was either the second or third time through, he said, you can't do that. You can't say, I'm going to fight this. I'm going to fight cancer. I'm going to fight my way through. And when I'm done, I'll start living again. His thing was that joy and misery can have parallel tracks. So while you're suffering, terribly, like he was in trying to get through cancer and trying to just stay alive, that you can find joy at the same time. And I think a lot of that, Noah, comes from the Viktor Frankl stuff, where he's the guy that was so terribly tortured in the Nazi concentration camps, where he just said, wait a minute, they can hurt my body, but they can't hurt me, who is in this body. And his whole thing was that it was man's search for meaning, and where it's the meaning in your life that you find. Because I just think, and again, callers, 888-344-1170. Don't just let me ramble on. I want to know how you find joy, how you find happiness, how that works for you. Because,
I relate to Kip quite a bit. Our stories are a little different. I have had cancer in the past, and skin cancer, as a matter of fact, Gary. And, although it has been 8 years off and on, I have been plagued by different skin conditions that I'm always fighting. And I actually found myself, with what you just said, speaking about that. Well, you know what? I'll find myself happy and content when I am through it. But at what point, so you're going to wait years upon years for you to allow yourself to be happy, to find joy? You can't live like that.
No. And that's exactly. And I mean, our friends that we've had on this show, so many times, over the years we've been doing this, is like, we had, Matt come on, Matt, my son, the trauma therapist. He comes and he says, no, you got to find joy as you go, because, if you're waiting to find joy, when your pain goes away, good luck with that. I mean, it's just may not even happen. And it's not like you're finding joy because of the suffering, or it's not like you're saying, oh, I'm suffering and I love suffering and that's why I'm joyful, but you can find joy during that time. And I know that's really hard, and it's hard for people to relate. I mean, for me to discuss and say, oh yeah, I've suffered a little bit. I feel like I've lived a pretty good life, and, there's stuff I have to deal with, but not like Kip, and not like going through cancer and, those type of things are just really, really traumatic. And to find joy during that process. So I, in fact, I'll just turn it on you. So as far as in that process, I mean, it's obviously, you go, oh my gosh, cancer, what a terrifying thing to even go, wow, I know people that have died with cancer and people that have made it through, but what am I going to be? So what did you, during that process, when you're trying to work through it and figure out the treatment and get back on your feet, what did you do to kind of keep your head up and to try to find joy in your life?
Well, it goes back to what we were talking about with Desi at the beginning of the show, because when you rely on your inner thoughts, which I am the most overcritically, I overthink everything, Gary. And so you'll take what has been given to you, which was my diagnosis of melanoma skin cancer, and you think about, oh, it's the most deadly form of cancer. I'm never going to make it through this. Everything's over. And then you just spiral downward. So I find that for me, it was twofold. It was through God, and making sure I was praying and connecting to God on a daily basis
Mm-hmm.
to reset myself every day. And then besides that, making sure that I was talking about it, not ignoring it, which I wanted to do, but facing it by talking about it with people that loved you most, because they would show you why, okay, you don't know the outcome. And if you do, hey, look at all these things and other success stories or some other third thing.
Mm-hmm.
And by supporting you in that way, you start lifting your head up a little bit higher, and it makes it a lot easier to get through it. So really, again, it all comes back to plugging yourself in with the right circle of people, family and friends. And those that do not serve you, I know Desi has talked about it as well. Her and I have talked about it on and off the air. If someone is not serving you in a healthy way, they probably shouldn't be in that circle of people, that community of care.
Okay. And I that's a good description of it. And, coming from somebody that's had that personal experience, that's a tough one, but it's, it gives it a lot.
Yeah, it's easy to get down. I mean, when you hear the C word, no matter what form it is, I mean, it's daunting. You're just like, oh my goodness, your first thought is it's a death sentence, but it isn't.
Yeah.
That does not mean that.
Interesting. Yeah. I can't imagine. that'd be crazy. I remember when my dad came to me and my brother and I kind of pulled us aside and said, I just want you to know I have prostate cancer and I'm going to get it taken care of. I'm going to get surgery. And it was like, whoa, when did that happen? When did we find out about that? And he said, so I haven't been telling anybody. The only reason I'm telling you is because, cancer is hereditary, and I just want you to know, because he was trying to be more scientific about it, because it might affect you. How is it affecting you, Dad? Oh, no, I'm totally fine. But, it took him a long time to get through it. Interesting. Very interesting. Well, I think one of the other, what was it? We talked about gratitude. I want callers to call in. I would love you guys to call in and tell me how you find joy, how you find gratitude, because we've been told so many times by our professionals that finding gratitude is just really an incredible thing. A couple of things that I've done with that have helped me a lot is keep a gratitude diary. And so I journal every day in 3 different journals, and it's my goal. It's funny. I have a goal sheet to check off that I journaled, but the one journal it's really, really simple. It's something that is totally sustainable. I don't say I'm going to write down 10 things every day that I'm grateful for. I mean, I probably could. And then in about 10 days, I'm going to go, oh my gosh, I got to start repeating. But I do one a day. And sometimes it's one word. Sometimes it's a sentence. It's rarely more than that. Usually it's just one sentence. And it says, I am grateful for ... one for day one. And then I put down what I'm grateful for. And I could literally go through. I've been doing it for several years. But the one thing I thought was interesting is when we had Matt on, asking him about gratitude, his thing with gratitude was interesting. I was asking him, why does it work? And he said, because gratitude is the opposite of entitlement. Which was, if you think about it, wait a minute, entitlement means no matter what I do, I'm entitled to. I don't have to do anything. That just should be mine. I should be happy. I should be wealthy. I shouldn't have to work so hard. I'm entitled to whatever for whatever reason. But then gratitude being the opposite, if you think about that, what does it mean to be the opposite of entitled? That means you're not entitled. So that means you have to, it's not owed to me, but that means I have to earn it. And if I have not earned it, then in the entitlement thing kind of sets in. So if you get things without earning it or having the right to it, then your brain gets confused because it goes, wait a minute, how did I get this without doing anything for it? And the entitlement thing really gets you messed up. So he was saying entitlement leads to ignorance, because you're not trying to figure out how cause and effect works. Like if I do this, this happens. If I behave this way, this happens. If I'm kind and grateful, this happens. Instead of that, you just say entitled. People are just supposed to hand it to me. I don't want to process anything. I just want it to be different than it is. And if you don't go out to change it and make it different or attempt to make it different, then you're just that's entitlement. And that's the opposite of gratitude. So the gratitude thing, I read a book, and it's, if you're looking on YouTube, I have this funny picture up, but I have this book, and it is called Gratitude Diaries. It's a blue covered book, called The Gratitude Diaries, and it's by Janice Kaplan. And this woman, Janice Kaplan, she's, she was a journalist of Parade magazine, and she lives in New York and Connecticut and all this. But anyway, she's done a lot of writing. She was famous in her day, Janice Kaplan, and she was just kind of seeing the news cycle and how things are just like, so she told her husband, I have a plan. I'm going to be grateful for everything for a year. I'm going to write down in a journal something I'm grateful for every day. And her husband said, whatever, if it happens, great. If not, then oh well. But Parade magazine and the TV shows that she was producing. So she started doing it, and she said it was really difficult to try to be grateful, to find gratitude. And okay, this happened. That was pretty awful. What am I going to find about it that made me grateful? And she realized that there are reasons to be grateful that are like mechanical and chemical and scientifically based. And as she was doing her gratitude thing, she had this thing called Gratitude Diary. That's what she kept for a year. A year looking on the bright side can transform your life. That's the subtitle of the book. So she did a bunch of research. And part of the research while she was writing this book was that there have been experiments, valid scientific experiments that showed that people that practice gratitude, that literally journal gratitude, that express gratitude, they actually have a chemical change in their brain. Now, if you talk to therapist Matt, he would tell you all the things, the dopamines and all these things in your brain that change when you're grateful. But that was what she was finding. Here's this writer, TV personality saying, I'm writing a gratitude journal and I'm feeling better. And my husband can't believe the change in me and my attitude in my life, and doing the same thing at my job. But it was like this chemical change in her brain that was making it so that life was getting better, which I thought was really cool. So the book is called The Gratitude Diaries. And it was really helpful for me to read it. Gratitude Diaries. You can listen to it on Audible, and it's done really well. The reading of it is really great. But she did a good job. I recommend Gratitude Diaries for today's book. We got lots of other books. I mean, we have our friends that have come on and talked to us about joy and happiness and gratitude and all that. So we're going to keep going. We got to take a really quick break here. We're going to go right to the top of the hour. I want your calls, 888-344-1170. Please give me a call. What are you doing to practice gratitude? Are you journaling? Are you thanking people? Are you paying attention to whether you're being grateful or not? Just call and quickly give us your answer, 888-344-1170. Love to hear from you. And we'll be back in just a minute here on the Word on Wealth. Happy Friday, everybody.
You don't need to know everything. You just need to know where to find answers you can trust when you need them. Welcome to the Word on Wealth with Gary Quackenbush. We're here to help you build, protect, and transfer everything you've worked hard for with expert estate planning, trust administration, inheritance, and probate. Call Gary and the team at gqlaw.com, 855-500-TRUST.
With SRN News, I'm Keith Peters reporting former President Donald Trump is facing 37 felony charges related to the mishandling of classified documents. That's according to an indictment unsealed Friday that also alleges that he improperly shared a Pentagon plan of attack and a classified map related to a military operation. Former Vice President Mike Pence says no one is above the law, but he's saddened that the Justice Department has indicted Trump on federal charges.
This is a sad day for America to see a former president of the United States face an indictment under federal law.
Pence was interviewed on the Salem Radio Network. The indictment accused Trump of willfully defying Justice Department demands to return documents he had taken from the White House to Mar-a-Lago, enlisting aides in his efforts to hide the records, and even telling his lawyers he wanted to defy a subpoena for the materials. This is SRN News.
Right. Happy Friday. Welcome to the Word on Well. Today is Finding Joy Friday, different than every other day of the week, where Monday we talk about taxes, tax situations, tax problem solving, and estate planning. On Tuesday, it is an estate planning day all day, Trusting Tuesday. Wednesday, we have Ken Pecos to talk about all things real estate, how the market's dealing with real estate, where to buy, when to buy. So fantastic. And then Thursday, we've got the wonderful Anthony Wright, financial guru. So we've got a great lineup every week on the Word on Wealth. And on Friday, Finding Joy Fridays. And so some days we have professional guests that come on, which is wonderful. And other days we have you. So I would love your input. 888-344-1170. Please call and tell me how you find joy. What makes you happy? Just call one thing. Call up and say, hey, Gary, what makes me happy is ... Doesn't matter what it is. I would just love to hear what makes you happy. What are you grateful for? And if you want to go further than that, share with me what you do to kind of monitor your gratitude. Do you journal? Do you just think about it? Are you more aware? Is it helpful to talk about it? Are you sick and tired of talking about gratitude? How does it help you? What do you know about it? 888
You know how grateful I am for you, Gary?
Tell me.
I am so grateful for you. I have a very special secret guest for you here on Finding Joy Friday on the Word on Wealth.
You do?
I do. I think he's going to really help further the conversation. Caller, chime in, please.
Hello. Hello.
Oh
Am
my
I
gosh,
chiming
Barry
in?
Shore.
You're live. Hello, who are you? Introduce yourself.
Good day, beautiful, bound to the beloved immortal beings, and good-looking people. And you're good-looking because you're always looking for and finding the good. And we found good in abundance because we're talking with Quackenbush and Dingley and tens of thousands of people who want to feel the uplift in the spirit of this amazing time called June.
Yes. Barry.
Couldn't agree more.
Thank you so much for coming on Finding Joy Friday. This is fantastic. Barry, so that you guys know, Barry has this tremendous book called The Joy of Living. I actually have a stack of them here in my office. And if you want to get a book, The Joy of Living by Barry Shore, and you wanted to get it in the easy way, is to call this show right now, 888-344-1170. Call the show, say, hey, Noah, I'd like a copy of Barry's book. And then we're going to have to get your phone number, your address, and we will ship it to you for free. But you got to call the show, 888-344-1170. Barry, what are you working on now to keep everybody finding joy? What's up?
Well, there are two things. Thank you, first of all, for the opportunity to be together again with us and all the people listening. And I just wanted to urge everybody to understand that the month of June, June, stands for Joy Unleashed. Never expires.
Ooh, I love this.
Joy unleashed. When you unleash joy from your being, it never expires. It doesn't just go out there and just go pitter, 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 pitter. No, it never expires. It's always out there. That's the genius of what the Creator did by creating us, the human beings, in His image. You see, we are that perpetual motion machine called life. Life stands for, of course, living inspirationally for eternity. So yes, June is a very special month. It's a month to understand that joy unleashed never expires. It never goes away. It's always there. You can tap into it in a moment. And the best way to tap in, of course, is with a smile.
Okay. SMILE. I know that's an acronym. I can tell.
For seeing
miracles in life every day. I know it. I got it. It's page 27.
I am especially honored to be with you today because June 9th is an important day in my life for many reasons, not the least of which is that it's the birthday of a very dear beloved friend of mine. My son, my only child, was born on June 5th. That was just a few days ago. And my wonderful, amazing daughter-in-law, the mother of my two grandsons, was born on June 2nd. So I'm just loving this whole week of June 2nd, 5th, and 9th. And of course, Joy Unleashed never expires.
And Barry and Gary, I love that. Barry and Gary, I want to let you know, speaking of joy that never expires, David from San Diego just called in moments ago. And Gary, he's going to, got his information. You guys are going to be connecting. He's going to be getting a copy of Barry's book.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah. David, thank you for calling in. You're going to get the joy of living. We're going to send it right from here, from GQ Law, the Word on Wealth show. Fantastic. Way to go. Thank you, Noah. So, Barry, my son's birthday is June 5th.
Wait a minute. That's fabulous. That's my son's birthday.
Is that crazy? I think that is so funny. My son just celebrated his 40th birthday on June 5th. And so that
okay, then we're going to do something unique and special and wonderful. What is his name?
Matt.
Max, M-A-X?
M-A-T-T, Matthew.
Oh, Matt.
Matthew.
By the way, you do know that Matthew means gift of God.
I do.
Okay, so we're going to do something for Matthew right now that nobody else in the world can deliver except for me. And it's going to we're going to invest a minute together. So ready? Here we go.
Okay.
We have an intergalactic singing telegram for wonderful Matthew. Can you please stand by? All the planets in alignment. 8+ billion people in harmony. Here we go. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy, 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 happy birthday. Happy, 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 happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Yeah.
Wow, that was terrific. Thank you. Barry, that is awesome. I love that. I really appreciate that. I'm definitely Matt listens to the show quite a bit. I don't know if he's listening today, but he will, because I'm going to send him the show and I'm going to send him his song. Thank you very much for that. That's wonderful.
And by the way, that song is also dedicated to every person listening who has a birthday from June 1 until June 9. That birthday song was to everybody out there, not just exclusively Matthew or my son Ezra. It's for everybody.
My son. Okay, so my son Matthew's oldest son is Ezra.
No, come on.
Yep. And Ezra turned 16 on the 31st of May. That's so funny.
Do you love it or do you love it?
That's amazing. That's why I like you.
Okay, well,
that is so funny.
I'm going to share with you.
And yes, I know that Ezra was the third prophet that went in to restore Jerusalem.
Thank you. Let me tell you a wonderful quote that I like a lot, and I urge everybody to hear. And that is, serendipity, which is what we just experienced, is a shortcut to joy. Serendipity is a shortcut to joy. You ever look around and something happens and you think it's coincidence? It's not. It's serendipity. And joy, remember, everybody, joy stands for Journey of You. Because this show is not about Noah Dingley, great guy he is, or Gary Quackenbush, wonderful fellow, or even Barry Shore, the amazing ambassador of joy. It's about you. Y-O-U. That's why we're all together. We are here to serve, as are you. When you get into service, now you know you're living life to the full. Am I right, guys?
You're absolutely right.
Absolutely right. I love it.
Yeah, I think we should ask him. It's a little bit of a tease, Gary, but I'm curious, Barry, don't answer, but I think on the other side of the break here in about a minute, we're going to need a Michael Phelps update.
Yes. Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys should know Barry is the ambassador of joy. Yeah, I'm going to be sending out his book, The Joy of Living, to David, who called in, which is wonderful. If you guys want to call and get a piece of the action here, talk to Barry. Now's the time, 888-344-1170, 888-344-1170, and get a copy of his book, The Joy of Living. I'll give out one more copy, and then I'm out of them. Got to order some more. But yeah, Barry's going to talk about one of the things he's been doing. He's gone from paralyzed to long distance swimmer. He's swimming all the way around the world. He's made it, I think, over halfway now. And we're going to get a little bit of an update because there's some issue there potentially with this really incredibly famous swimmer, Michael Phelps. And Barry's going to give us an update on that coming back here on the Word on Wealth. We're here on Finding Joy Friday, and we're here with the ambassador of joy on Finding Joy Friday. Whoa, can it get more exciting than that? We'll be back with Barry Joy in just a moment. Barry, sure. Ambassador of Joy in just a moment here on the Word on Wealth.
You've got questions. We've got answers. This is the Word on Wealth with Gary Quackenbush of GQ Law. Gary's here to give you peace of mind with expert estate planning, trust administration, inheritance, and probate. Call Gary to build, protect, and transfer your wealth. 855-500-TRUST. GQlaw.com.
Gary, how do you and your team help our listeners avoid probate?
Well, first of all, probate is a process that involves attorneys, judges, and sometimes contesting parties. And so we try to avoid probate at pretty much all costs. The way we do that is setting up living trusts, setting up properly documented wills, putting the property like houses, cars, bank accounts in that trust so that it avoids probate. Probate is only necessary if the estate plan isn't set up quite right. So we help them get it set up right. And mainly that's done through a properly created living trust.
Call Gary and the team at GQ Law, 855-500-TRUST, or go online and download Gary's free ebooks and videos. Read Gary's blogs. Call or click to request your free initial consultation. That's GQlaw.com, 855-500-TRUST.
Brian Bowers.
Um, 855-500-TRUST.
Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome to Finding Joy Friday here on the Word on Wealth radio show. We are here with the famous Barry Shore.
So famous,
ambassador
so
of joy.
amazing intergalactically. And his book is so much wealth of information, Gary. People are clamoring for it. We have another winner.
We do. Aubrey, right?
Aubrey from San Diego, listening on KCBQ, The Answer, has called in and requested the book. So she's going to be getting said book.
Excellent. Aubrey, did she happen to stay on the line to say hi?
She didn't. She was a little too shy, but she says she loves you guys and you guys have brought so much joy.
Excellent. Aubrey will be sending that book.
So fabulous.
So cool. So cool. Barry, we are just making it happen today. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, Gary, can I share with you, while I was listening on the break, I created an acronym for probate.
Okay, I got to write it down. Okay.
Ready?
Oh, yeah.
Here we go. Professional restructuring of business awareness, transforming estates.
Okay. Okay, got it. Professional restructuring of business awareness transforming states. Business awareness transforming. Yeah, got it. Thank you, Barry. You can make an acronym of everything. I appreciate that. All right.
And we try, because what we want to do is we are here to touch people in their very being. See, it's a very interesting phenomenon that I've been working with over the past 42 years of working professionally with people. And in the decades of working with people, I found two things. Number one is that the title of my newest book is called Oh Shift. And 97% of people drop the F in shift and the other stuff happens. So you got to be careful in pronouncing your Fs and literally thinking about it. But it's that slight shift in perspective that makes all the difference, which is what probate is all about. In other words, if you don't make the shift in your thinking to recognize that you need professional restructuring, then you're going to have a problem with the business that you've been working, the estate you've been working on for decades of your life. That's number one. Number two is very interesting for me, is that if you ask people, what do they really want? They don't want information per se. There's just lots of information out there on the internet. And by the way, a lot of it is misleading. So you got to really be careful who you work with. So that information is readily available. A lot of people say, well, I want inspiration. I love listening.
Kip Harris on the phone.
Well, that's great, except for, in about a half hour's time, okay, back to whatever you're doing. Really what people want is the big T word, transformation. They want to be in a different, better, more giving, loving, gratitude-oriented space. Would you agree, gentlemen?
I agree. And you know what? This
100%.
Okay, this blows me away. We have on the line Kip Harris, who's been on our show before. Incredible story. It's like Barry Shore worthy story. Kip Harris, can't believe you called into the show. Thank you so much. How you doing?
Hey, I had to call in. When I got a text from Noah, I was like, yeah, I got to call in, of course.
Terrific. Well, we are talking to Barry Shore, who has a book called The Joy of Living. And literally Barry's story is crazy, from being literally a quadriplegic to now swimming a distance equal to the perimeter of the equator of the earth. And he's pushed through so much. And then Noah and I were just talking about you pushing through, 3-time cancer survivor and finding joy in parallel to pain and in parallel to misery. I just love it. And now I have the two of you on the show together. So Kip, say hi to Barry. Barry, say hi to Kip.
Hello,
wonderful,
sir.
Kim. Hello.
Hey, nice to meet you, at least through my voice or your voice.
So
it's
fun.
a delight and a pleasure to hear your voice. I like that line that you used, Noah or Gary, that the joy in parallel to pain. If you can do that, and everybody can, we know, but to be able to do that is really the test of life and the genius of life. Am I right? I mean, that was beautiful. Joy in parallel to pain.
Yeah, absolutely. That's correct. Because I think that pain is such a powerful thing that we give in to pain and we focus on pain and the agony of a moment. And that's what distracts us from the reality that there is something good happening in that same moment. But I think that most people miss it because they get distracted by the thing that sort of hurts us. And I think if you look, I guarantee to people, they will find something good. And I'm going to look up more about your story, Barry, because I have to imagine you and I are right in sync there.
Well, first of all, I'm writing down what you just told me, Kim. It's so wonderful. There's something that in the world we call SAD, and the acronym for SAD is stress, anxiety, and distraction. Some people used to say depression. I don't use depression. I use distraction because you actually touched on the issue. Stress induces difficulties. It induces anxiety. And when you get distracted and focusing on the, we'll call it for want of a better term, the wrong thing, which is the pain, you're missing the point, which is the ability to be healing. And we know that healing is what we all want, and the body can heal. That's the genius of life. It heals itself. You got to give it the opportunity, correct?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And I'm with you. I think if you focus, if in my case, I had to go through chemotherapy, that was going to happen no matter what. I can either choose to focus on the burden and the agony of chemo or focus on something else and just let the chemo happen. I am a believer and a spreader of the message that people should stop fighting cancer. We hear this all the time, fight cancer. Kip, you got to fight. No, don't fight. Just do what you're supposed to do and look for something else. I'm not saying give in, give up, but I think that when you fight against something, it tends to push back. So just live into the moment. That's sort of my message.
Woo! Are we loving this? Are we kindred spirits or what? So I want to share with you something that happened to me as I'm exiting the hospital. And I'm going to say this quote, and I think you're going to like it. I've used it now for the past 19 years since I became a quadriplegic overnight from a rare disease. It was not an automobile accident. It wasn't a spinal injury. And these following words, I think you'll agree with. And they are the following. Diagnosis is not destiny. Diagnosis is not destiny.
I wrote it down, Barry.
And I'm going to give you six words that have fueled my movement from completely, totally paralyzed to only partially paralyzed, and now swimming, thank God, 2 miles a day, 6 days a week, and not to exaggerate, I only because it's only just over a third of the way around the world, not over 9,111 miles as of today, actually, 9,111 miles. And the six words I want to share with everybody are the following, and it's a riff on what you just said. Choice, not chance, determines your destiny. How you choose to respond in any given situation will show you the path forward and the trajectory of your life. You love that one?
Yeah, that's exactly right. And that's what I'm always saying. You can choose to focus on the pain of whatever moment you're in, whether it's an abusive relationship, whether it's alcoholism, whatever it is, you can choose to focus on the pain of that.
2 minutes.
Or you can choose to look outside of it, and I guarantee you will find something joyful in that same moment.
Do you hear what he just said, everybody? He guarantees it or your money back.
That's right.
Yeah. Right.
This is so wonderful. Thank you. I'm deeply touched and honored that we're speaking together. So again, choice, not chance, determines your destiny. Those are the six words you want to internalize, utilize, and leverage in your life, everybody listening. Choice, not chance, determines your destiny. And when you think this way and act this way and live this way, it's a different way of living. It's what we talked about June. June stands for Joy Unleashed, never expires, ever.
I love it. Well, you guys, this has been absolutely terrific to have Kip Harris and Barry Shore, two of my very favorite people that we have had on this show. And we just really appreciate you making it really a wonderful Finding Joy Friday for us, because
Kip,
I know
you tied everything together, my friend. Thanks for coming on.
I mean, this is terrific. Kip and Barry, you guys coming on. It's just wonderful.
Wait a minute, before he leaves, can we do a big hug together?
Yeah.
Okay, let me tell him what it stands for. Kim, you ready?
I'm ready.
It stands for heartfelt, unlimited giving. I'm going to hug you. And all the tens of thousands of people listening. 1, 2, 3.
Oh,
Gary, you okay?
that was beautiful. That was beautiful, guys.
Love it.
Thank you, Barry. Thank you, Kip. Thank you, Noah. I hope you guys have a great Friday. Everybody that's listening, go find joy. It's there. Kip promises. So does Barry. Talk to you later. See you Monday. Bye, everybody. Thank you, guys.
That, my friend, is how you do a show.
The Word on Wealth, featured since 1995.
That was
With financial
was
solutions
great.
attorney Gary Quackenbush, an expert in estate planning.
Thanks.
Wilson.
That was
And
fantastic.
Kip just texted me. I made his Friday too.
Wow.
Literally, we were talking about him, and when you were talking to Barry and I wasn't on the air, I literally just texted him. He's like, "Yeah, I'll come." Well, there's your show.